Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, creepy friends. Welcome to Nixie Bobs. And, should we just address the huge pink elephant in the room? Let's look at my skin today, because it is not good. Particularly this side. This side is the worst affected. This is not acne. This is not spots. This is nothing to do with a pimple related issue. What this is a severe allergic reaction to a prescription medicine I was given by my doctor last Thursday. This is a reaction I've had before. We thought it was to do with penicillin. I was thinking I was allergic to penicillin, so this time he gave me something that was penicillin free. And I started taking it Thursday. Come the Sunday last week, which was about the 28th or so, I was, or 27th, something along those lines, 26th, I was starting to notice I had a lesion. And originally I just thought it was a small outbreak, it can happen. By the Monday it had gotten worse. By the Tuesday it was terrible. By Wednesday it was just awful. Basically I am allergic. I'll give you guys a breakdown of it. I mean, I'll be honest, the other thing I will tell you guys is that I am on a very high dose of antihistamine, anti-allergy tablet. It's a drowsy one, so if I ever sort of have a moment of just, it's that going into my system. I had the latest pill I'm supposed to take 4 a day. I had the latest one a little while ago, so I'm already going to start getting dreamy soon. It does. There have been times at work this week where I've just been like, because it's designed to make you a little bit dazed. Whew, there you go, there it goes. So in short, basically antibiotics are made of fungus. They were discovered by accident. Penicillin, it's a mold of sorts. And I am allergic to the fungus that creates antibiotics. So if I ever get a flu or something like that I require an antibiotic for, I am buggered, to say the least, because I can't take them. I'm allergic to penicillin, I am allergic to erythromycin, all of those things that make your general antibiotics, I can no longer take. I can't eat mushrooms. Luckily, I hate the ground mushrooms walk on. A friend of mine the other day said to me, what about blue cheese? That's made with fungus. And I was like, oh yeah. Just so happens that the blue cheese dressing at Harvester is my all-time favourite thing ever in dressing world. And I probably now can't eat it. So that I'm really upset about that, because seriously, if you USA guys, you won't know what Harvester is. But in the UK, when you go to Harvester, I always have like a massive ladle full over my salad cart. So I'm really upset about that. But this is what this is. It is irritation, severe irritation. It's also on my back. It's on my shoulders. It's slightly on my chest. I had one random one on my knee, which is fading away now. But realistically, let's face it, I'm lucky this wasn't worse. This could have been, you know, swollen throat in the hospital on a tube. So realistically, to have the rash that I've got is quite lucky. When I went into my doctor on Wednesday, he looked at me and went, oh, that's bad acne. I went, no, it's not. And it's not my regular doctor. It was, my one was out of surgery that day. So I had another one who also goes there. And he was quite factual. I've got to go to a dermatologist eventually. I'm quite, in an odd way, looking forward to going to a dermatologist. I've never been to one. So that's quite sort of in my mind. I'm like, oh, that'll be fun. That's something new. It'd be nice to learn about my skin, because I'm quite weird like that. The problem is that getting up and dealing every day, you have to deal with this. Now, at the minute, I have to apply 2 layers of moisturiser. I have done my second, because this is now starting to dry out. It's not as bad as it was. I've only just reintroduced my Lizelle cloth back in today, and that was because I had quite a lot of dry patches that I did need to delicately exfoliate off. So they have come off, and that feels a lot less dry and scaly as it did this morning. I'm still using my Lizelle cleanser. Still using my day-to-day moisturiser as mentioned. This is, obviously you've seen this, I've used this while. It's number 7, Early Defence. But the great thing with this is that it's also hypoallergenic. So the great thing with that is that it's not designed to irritate my skin. In fact, it's designed to soothe my skin and care for my skin. But I have nixed out Neroli Lizelle for quite a while. And in fact, when I go to bed, I'm in the thickest layer of pseudo-creme known to man. I'm just covered in it, and it is helping my skin in the long run. But because obviously the doctor needs me to go to a dermatologist and have skin tests done, at the minute there's nothing he can do for this. This is just a waiting game to die down. The Piriton has helped greatly. I've been on that since Tuesday. I thought today I would give you a tutorial of what I do to cover this up on a daily basis. Couple of little pointers I'm going to say here. Some of you are going to watch this video and you are going to be like, oh, I feel so sorry for you. I'm hoping you're going to like the video, but I'm hoping it comes across well. And then there's going to be the ones for every one of you that gives me positive or sort of a, I'm going to say a sympathetic reaction. There's going to be 10 other people that come on this video and go, your skin is awful, you are hideous, you should not be doing this, get off camera. Well, you know what? Screw that. I'm here to show you that I'm not afraid of my skin. I'm not a hugely vain lady. I'm not afraid to show you that this is my skin. It's got a horrible reaction. I don't care that you don't like my skin. But we're going to cover it up together and I'm going to show you how I do it. Third pointer to make is that I do not use this many products every day. I am only doing this when I have a severe irritation like this. I'm also going to say that these products that I'm using are also known to me, because I have also the Mally Ion Flawless set and I am dying to try this thing. I've got some of it on my face today. I've used one of the shadow sticks, I've used the brow product, I've used the mascara, and I've used the liner. But beyond that, the foundation at the minute, because I've never used Mally before, I cannot risk putting it on my skin. It is not a product known to me. I don't want to irritate my skin further. All right, I'm going to apply a lot, I was going to say a lot more product than I normally would on a daily basis. But I'm doing what I need to do to try and keep my skin looking nice. I mean, it's not societal pressure, it's just me. I like to look nice wherever I go, even if that is to work. As I was saying, I do not encourage you doing this it's a heavy based makeup tutorial that is only used when absolutely necessary in cases like this. No, I am not going to irritate my skin by applying product to it. In fact, makeup can have properties which can actually help your skin. So don't worry about sitting there and going, well, that's just going to irritate it further. I've been doing this since Tuesday. It's been absolutely fine. So I'm going to start by applying my primers. Unfortunately, it's going to be 2 primers. And I didn't really want it to go to this level, but I actually forgot that I have a core product for something like this, and it is the Bare Minerals Neutralizing Primer. So I'm actually going to apply it to this side of my face first, and I'm going to show you just how much. Neutralizing primer is designed to dull out redness. I'm going to have 1 pump of this lovely custard yellow concoction, and I'm only going to apply it to this side first, so I'm going to use that much. I will use this Tarte brush, which will just smooth it over the skin. Should also note that this is not contagious, it is just a severe rash. Nobody can catch this. So if you can see the difference in my skin already, how that neutralizing has settled in. And alright, it's not removed it completely, I never said it would do that, but it's completely just improved the redness entirely. Okay, this side is the severe side. This side has loosened up a lot in the last few days, but this product is just, I mean, neutralizing primer is just definitely, especially if you've got particularly red acne or rosacea, I think this is definitely worth having. Probably more so than some of the colour correction palettes I've seen. So let's do this side. I'm going to take quite a big finger on that. I need just a little bit extra. Run out from my blob. So maybe a blob and a half. And then on my chin. And I've got a little bit left, so I'll just take that on there. Also, most of my brushes are very, very soft, so aren't designed to irritate. Some brushes, as much as I love BM, and I'm talking about BM right now, some of their brushes can be very on the rough side. So if your skin is irritated, I would say find the softest brushes possible, just to care for your skin that little bit more. Not that I am an expert, I have no clue. You can probably see now how that's improved the redness from just a couple of minutes ago. It's not made it invisible, but it's really settled in, and it's starting to blur it out, which is so important at the minute. Okay, so the next thing, while I leave that to set for just a second, is to sort out my nose, because my nose is actually the unaffected area of the whole face. I've got the reaction across my whole face, even up into here. My nose has been completely untouched by this, so at least I've got a saving grace going on there. But my nose still gets oily, so we need another Bare Minerals product, which is our Prep Step Blemish Remedy. It's a matte primer, And I'm only going to put that on my nose. I'm not going to take it up here today because obviously it's blemish remedy, and a lot of these contain acidic products which can irritate. So I'm only going to take it onto the nose only, nowhere else, because the nose can take this right now, the rest of my skin cannot. So the thing about neutralising primer is it's a great one to blur out redness. The downside with it is quite liquidy and fluidy. So just to help that settle in, I'm going to use BM's original primer as well, which I use on a daily basis. I love this product. It is probably a desert island holy grail product, but the problem I have with it, and I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, why does the pump break? Like, I've only opened this one about a week or two ago, and already I'm having to pop the stick back in and just take from what's on the stick. I am not going to use that much, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Some of you look at it going, oh my god, that's a lot. We don't need that much. I'm not using that much. But I do want to obviously settle this in, and this is like glue to me for makeup. It's amazing. So I've got blobs, 4 blobs. I do one chin, one cheek, and the forehead. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more to that forehead there. And I'm going to use the same Tarte brush and just smooth that over. It won't remove the neutralising primer. To be honest, if you don't want to apply one primer on top of the other, then just mix neutralising and original together. I've done that a lot in the past, actually. And I'm going to obviously avoid my nose because that's got my matte product on it. So that was very simplistic in primer land. So I'm going to let the primer soak in for just a second, and I'm going to do under eye concealer and also just a little bit of face concealer. I had tried yesterday applying my Laura Geller concealer. I love Laura Geller concealer, but it can make me a tad oily, so I'm actually going to go for Shape Tape today. Which again, I'm only bringing Shape Tape out because it's absolutely blinking well essential. I would normally only use this under my eyes, but for what we've got going on today, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to use 2 different shades. Obviously, you guys know I have light and I have fair. Both work a treat on my skin tone, which is great because it means if fair isn't in stock, I can always buy light. And I'm going to do what I normally do, which is one line here, which is technically highlighting and contouring, but that does help mattify. And I'm going to take a dab, dab, dab under my eye, dab, dab, dab under this eye. And we're going to blot this out first. I'm using fair for under the eyes, and I'm going to use light for the rest of the face. So I'm going to sort this out first and then do this. So that's under eye concealer all done. I only ever use a few blobs of Shape Tape because it's only, you don't need any more than that to me. I wouldn't ever say to you apply a massive tray, it's just unnecessary. To me, 3 dots does the job, and you can probably see I'm a lot more bright and awake now. The brush is always my brush, and the sponge, I was going to go and pick up a new Dior sponge last week from Debenhams because obviously the Spectacular was on. But I then passed number 7, and they have just bought out this darling little tiny sponge with 2 flat edges and a tip. And it's something like £7. I mean, the Dior one is only 12, it's not breaking the bank, but they also had vouchers for number 7 last week. So I got it for like £4, and it's phenomenal. It's a great sponge. I highly recommend this little one, actually. Great budget buy, but also just as good as any beauty blender for me. So going into light in Shape Tape, and I'm going to use the sponge for this because as much as I normally do use brushes for liquid foundations, I will say that the sponge definitely gets into this a lot better. So I'm not going to apply loads. I'm going to dot it in the most affected areas, which is hard to really say because most of my face is affected by this rash, but I've got dot there as well. And I'm going to do the cheeks before I go on to the forehead, just to let you guys know. See, I'm starting to break from the rash here. So it's really some of the most red areas that I'm going for. Now I do normally leave my skin to warm this up, but the thing is this will dry quite quickly. So I am going to blend it out fairly quickly, and I'm going to use the bigger flat edge for this. I'm just going to pat it completely into the skin. And I've just realised that my general foundation brush is not in the room, so I'm going to have to go grab it. And you're going to see now how that's just starting to disappear. All of the rash horror from my skin. I've obviously been washing these brushes regularly, not that again I could catch anything, but purely because obviously once this has been on my, I just want it to feel nice and clean. So this is my general Tarte brush. It came with Amazonian Clay foundation, and just to make sure it's smooth and even, I'm going to wipe it quickly, or blend it gently rather. Let's just get that technical term correct. And also because I don't want to look caked, buffing gently is just going to help it settle in without making me look caked, because that is one thing I try to avoid. I do not like to be the sort of person that needs a hammer and chisel to remove makeup. So that's done. So let's move on to forehead, and it's going to be the same sort of technique for here. Okay, so we're going to dab it onto the forehead in exactly the same fashion. Same principle, flat side, and dab that right into it. As much as this sits on my face comfortably all day, I will say towards the end of the working day, my skin is starting to get a little bit itchy and uncomfortable, which is generally the problem I'm having with this rash anyway, it can be very irritable. So just with Shape Tape and my primers alone, okay, yes, I can still see the rash, but is it 1,000 times better than it was 10 minutes ago? Hell yeah. It's all about improving and doing what you can do to your skin, as opposed to trying to cover up everything. When you've got a raised rash, when you've got raised acne, raised pimples, you're never going to get the indentation away. What this is more about is the power of the products you're using, as opposed to how many you're using. I love a bargain as much as the next person, but when you're buying Shape Tape, you know you're getting a quality product. When you're buying Becca, for example, you know you're getting a quality product. When you buy Bare Minerals, I know I'm getting a quality product. I could shirk and get something cheaper, but I know it's not going to have the quality and the coverage and the control, power. I'm trying to think of the words, my brain's going. I might do a thin layer of Becca. I've been using Clay all week, and Clay, obviously, I love Amazonian Clay. It's designed to treat the skin as well as be kind to the skin, but I don't feel like that right now. It's quite a warm day. I would rather have a matte, so I'm going to use Becca's Ultimate Coverage Complexion Creme. Now, I love this, but it can be a heavy foundation, and obviously now I've got Shape Tape underneath, I don't need to apply a jack load of this, so I'm going to be very sparing with it because I don't need too much of it, and I'm also going to do it one section of my face at a time. So I am going to use the same method with the brush and the blender. So onto the cheek, and I'm going to use the rest of the pump that I took for this. I only took a very small pump. Get that on there. Dabble it in with the blender. I have been using a stipple brush. The thing with the stipple brush is it can be slightly hard against the rash, and it can irritate it a little bit. So that's why I'm avoiding that right now. I'm going to switch actually to a dry brush. This is a brush that I generally buff powder in with, but because it's dry, it can just give a slightly smoother effect. So I'm actually going to change to this one. This is a Tarte one again. So just this side of my face left, so I'm just going to control it that much. That's all I need. This is quite a pigmented formula, so any more and you're going to be caked. So one drip, can you see that? That's all I need. Even for skin this bad, that's all I need. I'm going to dab, 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 dab. Oh, we haven't done the nose. And buff it on the nose as well. Forgot about that. Don't want an odd nose going on there. Slightly up to make sure that's level. This method makes my hand ache, can I just tell you guys. Back in with my lovely Tarte brush. So I'm really happy with the coverage I've got there. It's never going to be perfect, and I don't expect it to be perfect, and nor should you. As I say, you got raised areas, you can only do what you can do to make it better. You're never going to make it go away completely. But to me, this covers everything that I wasn't happy with and gives me much more, it makes me feel more confident. I'm not unconfident to go outside with my rash. I've been up and down the shops happily to the doctors with this rash fully on show. I've had a few looks, I won't lie. So to settle this, there's a lot of ways you can do it. It depends on what you want to do. I've not had major issues with Becca ever patching or coming off or anything like that. It's definitely one of my holy grails. But to settle this, I'm going to use a thin layer of Laura Geller's Baked Balance and Brighten foundation. I will only do this in this instant, and I've said to you before, I've been doing this all week. It's not irritated it. I'm quite comfortable with this, and I'm also not using this much of this. I'm only using a small layer just to help set the Becca in. And I'm going to be very sparing with it because Becca's covered this up really well today. And also, as I always say on this channel, don't judge the foundation by its first impression. Go away, wait for an hour, and then look at it again, because once your skin has soaked it in, it normally covers it even better than you think. And I do let my skin breathe at night, as I said, and as soon as I come home, this comes off. So I'm gonna experiment with my blush because I just got California. Benefits California. I'm not sure about this at the minute. The scent is gorgeous, but it is a bit of a drawback really, because when you get this, it's got like a gold pigment over it. That soon fades. Once you've used it the first time, that gold pigment just puffs off. So I'm not sure about this, but because I'm still in the experimental stage, I am going to use it for you guys today and use my angle brush in there. I do not like the brush particularly that it comes with. I much prefer my own. I'm also worried this shade is not flattering to my skin tone. I tend to prefer slightly more fuchsia-y, if not red colours of blush. Always blend my blush out slightly as well. Just gives me a nice little glow. It does not emphasise the raised rash either. Let's finish under my eyes because I've just realised I haven't done that. Been using mixtures of this, which is the Laura Geller Chocolate Box Shadow. I'm going to use this shade right here, which is the purple. Let's come in with the angled. I don't know what this brush is, don't ask. Come on, I'm still trying to do zombie my work, though. And beyond a slight light dose of mineral veil, this is my version of full coverage makeup to the best of my ability with terrible, terrible skin. It will improve. It will absolutely improve, and please don't anybody be afraid of the amount I'm wearing. I know it's a lot. It's not irritating the rash. It's covering it up. Some of you are going to say that's just going to make it worse. It really doesn't. If I felt like stuff was making it worse, I would stop. At the minute, this has done nothing but help the rash. So I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know what you think. I know there's a few of you that are going to say you're caked, you're in way too much. I know I'm in way too much for my liking. I've always said to you guys that less is more. But when you've got a rash that's really bad, sometimes a little bit more has to be done. This is not something I will continue to put on once the rash. Do let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Say awful things about the rash. It's quite alright. I know some of you are going to do it. And I will see everyone again for another video of anything. Eye on Flawless by Mally will be coming, but obviously once my skin is better. Bye everyone.